Hello and welcome to my channel. It's Monica from Crafting with Quilling Lady, and I hope you have an absolutely fabulous day. Here I've got step-by-step tutorial for you how to make a storage for your ink pads. A few weeks ago I bought myself this set of pigment inks from Spectrum Noir, and I decided to create some storage because I didn't have it. My husband is a painter and decorator, and he bought himself a new set of paintbrushes, and when I saw this box I thought it would be perfect for my new ink pads. So I asked him and he said yes, of course you can have it. If you don't have this box, you can have a look at your home and you probably have different boxes you can use for this project. We are going to decorate all the sides of the box, but we don't have to decorate the very bottom. But if you want, feel free to do it. This project is actually pretty quick and simple, and it actually makes a big difference with your storage solution. Here you can see my slimline cutting die, which we're going to use later on to create a window. For my top panel, I use all 4 green colors I've got, and I'm using this ink blending tool from Spectrum Noir. It is a little bit bigger than the usual one we use in circle shape, and this one it is much better for ink blending because you can actually use all 4 corners for 4 different colors, and it saves you time and space, because when you finish your beautiful ink storage box, then you can actually store your foams inside as well, which is a really great solution. And when you use pigment inks, which I use here, they actually dry really slowly, so you have to be careful not to transfer the color where you don't want to. And you can also use heat gun if you want, just to make the drying process a little bit faster, but you can also dry it naturally. Just wait maybe half an hour. Okay, so here I'm using the tool to blend in all the green colors, and if it's not perfect, that is absolutely fine. We're going to use stamps over our blending later on, so don't worry. And if you create your own storage for ink pads, it is really unique, and I'm pretty sure you can create really beautiful designs. And if you have ever created your own storage solution, I would really like to see it, so please leave the link down below with your beautiful creation. Now I'm going to use some stamps from the subscription box from Crafter's Companion, and I'm going to use the small stamps. I know the butterfly is really beautiful, but I'm not going to use it for this project. And another tip: if you use smaller stamps on acrylic blocks, you can actually use both sides of the acrylic block. That way you save some time, because you don't have to take off some of the stamps and put new ones. You can just rotate the acrylic block and it works perfectly. So as you can see, I'm putting all my stamps on acrylic blocks, and we are actually ready to go and decorate our box. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of stamps in your stash, so just have a look and find some small stamps that will go really nicely together. These stamps made me think about mixed media projects, so yes, why not? And another tip: if you want to clean your stamps, I use a cloth for it, and when you stamp all the images with different colors, I really encourage you to clean the stamp in between. That works really fine, and then you don't transfer the color on the ink pads, because that's not what we really want. We want to keep our ink pads really juicy and the color they are intended to have. Now I started with my yellows, and now it's time to move on to orange, this beautiful fuchsia color, which actually looks absolutely amazing in real life, and this beautiful, I would say, light lavender color. I think that's the name it should have. And if you stamp all those images, you can actually see how the colors go well together and how you can actually overlay them. Do they work really well? Can you actually put lighter color on top of the darker one? Because that's how the pigment ink pads should work. Okay, you don't have to use pigment ink pads. I'm pretty sure you've got other inks at home as well, and you can create a very similar project for your inks. It doesn't matter if they are waterproof or water reactive pigments, or maybe you've got distress oxides. Just have fun with the colors and yeah, create something that will make the best storage solution for you. Okay, so now we are ready to die cut our window panel, and as you can see, I'm just placing it, and then I'm going to use washi tape just to make sure the die doesn't move when I put it inside my die cutting machine. And now I also have all these panels I created, so I measured all the sides and I created two sets, one that actually suits all the sides and then the same sets slightly smaller. So first we're going to create a frame, and I'm using all the greens for the frames, and then we are going to apply the yellows on the smaller panels, and you will see that in a few seconds. However, for your project you can use different color combination. That is absolutely your choice. So now, as you can see, I've got these 4 smaller panels, and I'm going to use all the rest of the colors that are left in my set. And if you create these panels, you can actually join them, which you will see later on, and then you can have half stamp on one panel and then half on the other. And that not only saves you time, but space, and the effect is really amazing. Have you ever created any other storage solution for your craft room or craft space? It doesn't have to be for inks. Maybe you created the storage solution for your markers or ink or paper parts. If you have, I would really like to see them. And also, I also wanted to ask you, what is your favorite ink to stamp with? I really like distress oxides. However, these pigment inks are really great for beautiful, bold and bright effects. What do you usually use for your card making and paper crafts? What is your favorite ink? Okay, so going back to our project, I'm stamping all the images, and as you can see, I'm putting some stamps over other ones, so I can see how they work together. And later on, when I go and create some papercraft projects, when I look at the box, I'll make sure that, oh yes, I can layer this ink on top of this one, or this one doesn't really work. And it is a really great idea if you create a storage solution for your inks. Okay, so now I'm adding a few more orange spots because I really wanted to have these panels really bright and vivid, and we are nearly done. As you can see, I'm putting some of the panels together just to save some time, and it actually gives me a really nice look. And now we are ready for the front panel. So here I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to trace the inside window of our panel we created. And then I'm using a craft knife to cut the window. And when we finish this, we are going to need acetate and red liner tape. Because red liner tape works really perfectly with acetate, and this way we can look through the box and we can see all the inks and nothing will come off later on. And actually, red linotype works really well with card, and I thought it was the best solution for this project. When you put red linotype, make sure you press a little bit harder so it's stuck properly. And to peel off my red linotype, I am using a pokey tool because that is the easiest and quickest way I found to peel it off. But if you have other solution, just let me know in the comment down below. Now it's time to put the acetate, and again I put just a little bit of red linotype around the window, and then I'm going to use liquid glue because we're going to put our front panel that we created earlier. And that will be our front done. And if you want, you can stop here, but I thought it would be a great idea to add all the sides, and then I also added a few more bits later on. You can also add some ribbons or buttons to your box. The choice is yours. In your project, you can add anything that you want. And now I'm going to stick all the panels, and again I'm using liquid glue because I think liquid glue, card and cardboard work really perfectly together. And this glue sticks all the cards together really quickly, and it is a really strong liquid glue. Do you have your favorite liquid glue? Because this is mine, and I use it for majority of my projects. Okay, so when we start with adding these longer panels, I added the back first because at the front, as you can see, there is semicircle, and we have to adjust that when we add our front panel. So what I did, and you will see that in a few seconds, I used a pencil and a scissors, and it worked perfectly, and you can actually adjust the shape to your box. As you can see, all the panels are done. Now we just need this one, and as I said before, I'm going to use a pencil, draw the shape and fussy cut, and we are done. So if you want, you can finish your project here. But then I thought it would be a great idea if I add all the names of the ink pads I've got inside. So I created these small squares, and they measure 2 by 2 centimeters, and I use black fine liner, and I wrote all the names. And now I'm adding a small stamp. I took it from my stash. I can't even remember which set does it come from. It doesn't really matter. When you add the stamp here with all the colors, make sure you clean your stamp in between because we don't want to transfer all the other colors. And then another tip for you, when you start putting all those small squares on your box or storage solution, start from the sides. And I'm using the same liquid glue I use for all the other panels. And when you start from the sides of your project, then you can make sure it is more even than if you started from one side and moved to the other one, or if you started in the middle. And the big advantage of using liquid glue is that you still have a few seconds to maneuver all the elements. And our box is done. And now we can put all those ink pads inside. And I was just checking the colors and which order they come in, and I put the same order inside the box. And that's our project done. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a fantastic day. Here you can see 2 other projects I created, and I hope you feel inspired. Give this video a thumbs up, and see you next time. Happy crafting! Bye!